Hare Krishna to all our viewers. A warm welcome to this new episode of Life Questions Inside from Gita. We all know a toddler starts questioning from a very tender age of 3, and parents sometimes they are able to reply them very patiently and sometimes get irritated. Artha treat from his miseries. Artharthi wants to fulfill his or her own desires. Jigyasu, a very inquisitive mind. Who is God? Where is God? Where does the God live? Why he has created this whole world? And Gyani, the knowledgeable person. So if we all want to collect the wisdom, we all want to know the knowledge from the best repository, that is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, this is a right platform for you all. So you can post all your questions we on our website. The website details, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook link are being given on the screen. So let's start. And for this, we welcome Manu ma'am in our studios. Welcome, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So let's start with our very first question. The first question is, I must be respected, whether I respect others or not.
It definitely sounds strange to hear somebody say so boldly that I must receive respect from the society. Whether in my turn, whether I give respect or no, irrespective of that, I should be getting a lot of respect and honor. And I can only say that this is also a form of worldly desires. A man is constantly driven by his desire for worldly enjoyment, and most of the worldly enjoyment consists of enjoying the pleasures which are particular to the particular sense, like eyes are craving for those scenarios which they find pleasant and attractive. Our ears want to hear those sounds which sound sweet and pleasant to us, and our tongue is always eager to uh, taste those delicious preparations which we favor, and so on. I mean, the nose or its own sense of smell and so on, and the skin. So these are the five senses by which a man derives pleasure in this world, and he desires a lot of pleasure out of the world. And in addition to this, the on three accounts, he wants to enjoy his life. That is, he not only wants to get all those pleasures, material pleasures through the senses, but in his mind there is a very passionate desire for receiving honor, respect, for becoming famous in the world, and getting a lot of comfort and a lot of praise from the world. So this is I would say, an exaggerated form of such desire, and it is also implying a sense of egotism, like that the person seems to be very very overconfident about his or her own qualities, and perhaps thinks that on account of his or her good looks, his or her extraordinary intelligence, or maybe extraordinary figure and success in life, the post which they hold, and the power which they can exercise over people on all those accounts, and maybe others also. So everyone in society should bow down before them and cover them with praises, glorify them, talk about them, etc. So this is that kind of craving, and the normal attitude of a person is that he is usually able to hide such feelings, which are not even having a sort of normal give and take attitude. Like if we want something from others, we are definitely prepared to render the thing to others also when our turn comes. But here it's been very categorically said stated that the person concerned, he wants to be respected and honored in this world. Whereas Shri Krishna has included these desires for pleasure, glory, comfort, etc., as he has given them the blanket name of desire, and desire translates into kamna, and that is one of those cardinal sins which cause a man's downfall, which causes total degradation. I mean, desire, as Krishna has said very unequivocally in Gita, is the first cardinal sin. It is the enemy of man, which leads man unfailingly to his destruction. In Krishna's words, Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, that is his description about Kamna. So it has to be slain. This desire needs to be killed and destroyed by the person who wants to attain salvation, which is one of the objectives of this human life, or um, to go on a higher plane, wants to achieve Krishna's loving devotion towards Krishna. This is the attitude which a person should be having, not the attitude of simply receiving from the world, but there should be an attitude of service, an attitude of giving, and an attitude of not caring for worldly enjoyments. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described a devotee of Krishna as a person who is thoroughly bereft of desire and conceit, this kind of conceit which is expressed. And he says, Trinadapi sunichen tarorapi sahishnuna amanina mandeyam kirtaniya sada harin. So person's objective has to be objective in this human life, has to be properly recognized and received by him, received and accepted by him, and then he should pursue that objective and do his best to achieve the goal of human life instead of getting involved and absorbed in these worldly pleasures. That's what I would like to say.
Wow, very beautifully explained, ma'am. Lord Krishna also says that giving and taking is a way of life, but first you have to give as a service to.
You have to be ready to give, to serve.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now we have one of our friends joining with us, Abhishek Gupta ji. He's a Jaipur-based IT professional. So may I request Abhishek ji to kindly ask his question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So my question is related to sleep. So in the current generation, like nowadays, everyone is sleeping late and waking up early. Even the same case is with me also. So I have also tried a lot of ways to control my sleep. Like I can have a control sleep early and wake up early, so that in the morning I can do good activities, and so that it also helps me in having a positive mindset and positive goals towards my life. So how can I achieve to control my sleep?
Abhishek, I'd just like to clarify one point. I thought I heard you saying just now that your habit is to go to sleep late and to wake up early. Have I heard right?
Wake up late, like it's not
Wake up
early.
late. So it's not both ways, that you are sleeping late as well as getting up early. I think that would be too much of a torture for you. So usually the cycle is like this with most people, that they will go to sleep late and late at night or in early hours of morning rather, and then they will be waking up late also, naturally. So I'll say that your question is very, very crucial and very relevant for the people of this generation, especially students and young professionals who are more and more who are being affected by this kind of very wrong life pattern and very wrong pattern of sleeping and waking. Many of the young professionals are sort of being played upon by the impact of Western culture on our industrial environment. Because today there are so many BPOs which are actually being run by owners residing in Western countries, and they don't care that the young people who will be joining their organization in India, their sleep cycle and their sleep syndrome is going to be totally changed, because what they want is that their waking hours should be respected, and all the work should be done according to their comfort and convenience. But this leads the young people, and they do want a job, of course. People want a job. There are financial constraints, so many things. So those people who are getting into this kind of job, uh, they anyway have to face those circumstances that they cannot be sleeping at night and staying awake during the day and getting up in the early morning, and which is the cycle of nature. I'll say that in fact, night is the time when the powers of evil are at their height, and early morning is the time when the powers of good are at their height. This is the reason why our scriptures, our holy men, and our acharyas have always taught this way of living, that a person should remain in harmony with nature. Night is for sleeping, so one should sleep at night. Morning is for a sort of um, getting the getting the vibrations which are which are there in the pure morning air, and for learning things which are very important. Like it's a very good idea to get up early and to read sacred texts, and also to read your own, I mean, do your own studies, your professional studies or your college studies or whatever in the early morning. That's the best way. That's the best routine. But today, the whole thing has been changed. Firstly, the constraint of light no longer exists in the society because electricity is there, and the whole time one can always have a lighted environment, and one can one is able to do one's work at whatever time they want. So they are not sticking to the traditional rules, and I think this creates a very bad impact on their capacity to think clearly, and there are so many other things which get affected by a wrong sleep syndrome. Firstly, staying up till even 6 in the morning. Even housewives today are adopting these patterns which are followed in college hostels, and which are followed by young professionals. That they are staying up till early morning, and then they go to sleep. And they wake up at 12 or maybe 1 p.m. when the best part of the day is already gone. This deprives them of so many of their the qualities of mind which should be working for them. I think the intelligence deteriorates, the clear thinking deteriorates. It has a bad impact in every way, and I think with the passage of time, there is a sense of confusion and delusion in the person's mind. The clarity of mind also gets affected by this routine. So it's very important when one retires to sleep, when one is getting up, uh, how many hours of sleep one is getting every day, and if that sleep is dreamless, peaceful, and deep sleep. So a person who gets up after that kind of sleep, as it used to be the routine in the days when I myself was a young housewife or a young professor. So our routine was to go to sleep at 10 and get up at 5 or 6. And that just kept everything, and one did not even need to rest much during the day, maybe 15-20 minutes or so. And one just kept very healthy, and every morning when you woke up, you felt full of energy and you felt glad to meet the new day. Whereas I think if we are not getting our sufficient sleep and we are not keeping the best hours, then we are not even able to feel totally fully awake and fully alert and ready to do everything and full of energy. That definitely happens, and someone has written about sleep that oh sleep, it is a gentle thing, beloved from pole to pole. To Mary Queen the praise be given. She brings the gentle sleep. She brought the gentle sleep from heaven that slid into my soul. Shakespeare has also talked about sleep. I mean, the great role of sleep in removing all the stresses, the fatigue, all the tensions and the struggles which one faces during a working day, and it just knits up the rebel's sleeve of care. And some of us, of course, Abhishek, are not having options, like young people who are constrained to earn some money somehow and not able to change their lifestyle, having to work in night shifts, etc. But those who do have an option, I think it's a very good thing that a person like you is thinking about it, and you are doing you're making efforts in that direction. How you can improve your sleep syndrome and bring it more into harmony with nature. And last thing I'd like to say is that the days for studying and working, the evening is for interacting with family, praying together, and night is for sleeping. And that's how it should be kept. Whatever be the timings in which we are living, if we can keep this, if we can bring this into our lifestyle, this is going to be of great benefit to us. If you want to ask anything, or you want to, any side question which has occurred to you during this conversation, you can put it up.
No, madam, it was very well explained. Hare Krishna.
So we have one more live questions. Gaurang Paul Sarji has joined us. He's a manager, official languages from Airport Authority. So I would request Gaurang sir to kindly put up your question, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Madam, this question rose in my mind. Just last week, I was passing through the road. I saw two dogs. One was cozily sitting in a car, and another was roaming on the street. Both are in the same bhog yoni. But
Yes.
why such a difference that one dog is enjoying in a car and other one is even starving? He's searching for the food. So why God did such thing?
Yeah.
I think this is very
So
sensitive and
I think that that shows and that reflects your great compassion for your fellow creatures, and for any creatures, any of the life forms, you are able to sort of feel their discomfort or their sufferings, and I think that uh, your perception that being born as a dog is being sent into a bhogyoni, like every other life form, every other yoni, except for human life. All the other life forms out of 84 lakh possibilities, all of them are bhogyoni. Bhogyoni means that those life forms are given to us so that we can receive and we can wipe away the effects, the results of our past actions. If they were good actions, then we would receive favorable circumstances. And if they were evil actions, we would be receiving adverse circumstances in whatever life form we happen to be. So even in a bhogyoni where like a dog, a cow, an elephant, or a cat, or whatever, or a tree, I mean, uh, during that life, they are going to endure endure the sufferings, or they are going to endure the circumstances which are coming towards them due to past record of evil actions. There will also be some good experiences for them. There will be some favorable circumstances that will be in lieu of their good actions in the past. So in whatever life form we happen to be, this is something which we have to endure. Whether we are in human life form, or whether we are in these bhogyonis, or whether we are in these lower life forms, lower than the human life form, we have to endure the favorable and the adverse circumstances which are coming to us as a result of our own actions. The only thing is that in a human life form, there is one other thing, which one grace which has been granted to us by God, and that is that of course we will have to endure circumstances, favorable circumstances we will enjoy, and the adverse circumstances we are going to endure, and we will try to remain equanimous in both of them. But Krishna has given us the chance in human life form that um, we can achieve salvation, we can achieve liberation from the sorrows and sufferings of this world in this very life, in this same present life which we are living out now. In this life itself, we can attain liberation from all the sorrows and griefs and sufferings of the world. And higher than that, much higher objective than that, is that we can achieve union with Krishna by becoming Krishna's devotee, and by reposing total faith in Krishna, we can attain Krishna through our loving devotion. So this is something which is only possible in human life, and it is not possible in other life forms. But in just as in the human life form, we can see so many people. We can't even help noticing that some people seem to have everything. There are so many people who are having everything which a person can want. They're having good looks, good figure, they are rich, they are young, and they are successful in life, and they are even successful in their relationships. I mean, they are even having people around them who really love them. They are having good friends also. So definitely strikes us that well, these are those darlings of fate who are having everything. Whereas if you just venture out of your own home, you will be able to see that so many people are having to live on the sides of drains. I mean, just like living the life of cockroaches. I mean, these are two extreme poles, and in between them there are so many different circumstances through which a person has to live out their life. So these differences in level of happiness, level of comfort, level of um, our wants being satisfied, our maintenance, the maintenance of our body, or there will be a lot of differences between uh, between between one dog and another. Let's say between one cow and another. There are so many people who love and respect cows to such a level that they are almost worshipping them. Whereas we find stray cows on the road who are not able to get any food to eat, and they are being a sacred animal like a cow. They are sort of, they are foraging among the refuse which is being thrown on the side of the road, consuming plastics and all that. So there is difference in all life. This difference will be there, and the basis for it is our own actions.
Thank you, madam.
Your
Explained
answer.
nicely.
With all your permission, can we move on to our next question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Our next question is from our esteemed viewer, Monica Demblaji, an official from Airport Authority. She asked that as I'm reading Gita, my understanding towards life is getting better. So I started convincing my close ones that they should start reading and implementing the teachings of Gita. On this, one of my young friends jokingly responded that as per Gita, whatever happens, happens cause of Krishna. So if he is not inclined to read Gita, that is because of Lord Krishna. So what should be my reply for this?
Yes.
So
Of
kindly,
course,
Manu ma'am.
it has been definitely stated that not even a leaf can fall, or not even a leaf can move unless Krishna is willing. Krishna's will is mixed with it. So that is there. That it's a truth that Krishna is the ultimate cause for whatever takes place in the world, with one exception, and that is that Krishna has granted human beings the independence of action. He has granted it, and that is only for human beings. Only human beings have independence of action. That is, human beings can choose which actions they should perform and which actions they should refrain from. And it is only human beings also who are going to get reward and punishment. As we were discussing earlier in the Gaurang Paul's sir's question, the other life forms do not have this constraint upon them, that they have to act according to a moral code. But human beings do have to act according to the morals prescribed by scriptures and by holy men. So this much is definitely agreed, that Krishna is the ultimate cause. That is, Krishna is everything. Krishna is everything. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Krishna is not only the cause of the entire universe and so many other universes, multiple universes, but he is the person, he is that element by which the entire universe has been created. And he is the cause. But because he has granted the human beings independence of action, he has left them the way, he has left the way open to them to improve their concepts, improve their understanding, and to use their discriminative intellect, which is specially given only to them, which is not given to the other life forms like dogs, cats, elephants, cows, etc. Now, man is having that discriminated intellect by which he can choose between doable and non-doable actions, and how actions, in what spirit actions should be performed, and what should be the ultimate goal of his life. He has to recognize that, he has to accept that, and he has to work towards that. And it happens when people are very young and they have never been exposed to an atmosphere in which importance is given to the existence of God, importance is given to Krishna, Krishna's goodness, Krishna's compassion, Krishna's grace, mercy, Krishna's superior intelligence. So all these things are not discussed in the family, and probably the person has never uh, received any of those signals in his family, in his life so far. So being very young and not having faced serious problems, not having come across any serious problems in life, the person unthinkingly replies like this, that, okay, you yourself are saying that Krishna is the cause of everything, so why don't you accept that? I'm not agreeing to your promotion of Gita. That is also, uh, Krishna is behind the cause behind it. But no, it is not so. Man is independent to choose. Man is free to choose between remaining absorbed in all the pleasures and enjoyments of this world, and between pursuing the path of karmi yoga or devotion towards Krishna. Those are the two really good pathways in which, which Krishna has also highly promoted and highly praised during Gita. That a person who is following Karma Yoga, he becomes totally selfless. He becomes totally equanimous, and he totally renounces the desire for fruits of his actions, and is constantly working in the interests of the poverty-stricken or the challenged people of the world. So that is a Karma Yogi, and that Karma Yogi, because he desires nothing, he doesn't even want any fruits for his good actions. So what he gets ultimately is that all his previous sins are wiped away or burned away in the fire of his enthusiasm to do this work, the selfless work for society. And if he also attains the stage where he does arpan of all his works to Krishna, then he gets onto the pathway of bhakti yoga, which is the ultimate yoga, and which is the ultimate pathway which is going to lead man towards union with Krishna. And people who are not inclined to read Gita, who don't want to learn from Krishna, what is the best way to follow, how to make the best of this human life which has been granted to them, partially as a result of their own actions, and partially by Krishna's simple grace and mercy, because Krishna wants that his creatures should not be wandering endlessly through 84 lakh life forms. They should, as soon as possible, um, they should go through this world, recognize this world for what it is actually, that it is just perishing every moment, and none of the pleasures which it holds out, which it holds out to us, is uh, is permanent. So, uh, recognizing the world's reality and turning towards either selfless service or selfless devotion and love to Krishna. That should be the accepted objective of a human life. And I can understand that there are many people who, because of lack of exposure and lack of any problems in their lives, just take life very lightly. But a time comes in everyone's life when Krishna's importance becomes evident to us. Maybe it's because of some great calamity which has fallen on us. Maybe it's on account of feeling helpless in some very difficult situation, or maybe it is due to the association of saintly people, or maybe it's due to listening about God. And this is very important. Listening to the stories about Krishna's pastimes. This is a sure way to arouse love and devotion towards God. So it is only such young people who respond in this manner, but they also reach a time of life and a stage of life when they recognize what is. I
Wow,
just wanted to
so
say
good.
one thing that karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu karachana. This is very true about us human beings, that we only have right to perform actions of our choice. We do not have right over fruits of actions. And Krishna, Krishna does not tell us to perform any particular actions. Na kartritam na karmani. Lokasya srijyati prabhu. This is what has been spoken in 6:14. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu. Na karm phal sanyogam. Swabhavastu var. That's what I like to say.
Beautifully, beautifully explained. The right knowledge is really very, very important to go ahead in the life. Very nicely putting an end to our today's episode of this question and answer session round with a note that human birth is a very, very precious, and we should always go for the best in our life. And the best is not less than self-realization. So till next, it's Hare Krishna. So keep on posting your questions. Hare Krishna.